What's going on, people? Welcome to 137 Works, and today we're having a look at this, the absolute madness that is James Deane's Mazda RX7 FD 4-rotor. So this thing is absolutely mental. I've had the privilege of seeing it in person already. It was at the LC World Tour that he did when they all came to Mondello. He did a couple of practice runs, demo runs, and stuff like that in this thing. And as I described in that video, it sounds like God himself screaming. It's an absolutely unbelievable, surreal sound to hear this thing in real life. It's like the closest thing I think I'll ever come to hearing an F1 car, like the old V8, V10 F1 cars, because it was just absolutely mental. It was so loud, so screamy. I'll just include a clip actually, so you can see exactly what you do. So this is basically what we are going to try today. It's been a while. Like, I'm a drifter primarily, but all I ever do on this game, when I cover this game, are like race car mods and large like it. I do actually review cars, including drift cars as well. I've done JTP's Mustang in the past. I think it might be the only other drift one that I've done. Yeah, I just kind of tend to find that the audience isn't necessarily going to be there for a drifting video as opposed to like, I don't know, the AMG one or something like that. So yeah, they've always taken precedence whenever I've decided to make a like car mod video. But yeah, today I downloaded this a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month or two ago at this point, and I knew that this had to be the next drift car that I did. So yeah, as you can see, it's absolutely insane. Look, I don't know what the name of the body kit is. I don't know if it's a custom body kit, but the big BCL, Big Country Labs wing on the back. And the most amazing thing about it is, if those wheels look familiar, particularly obviously the front ones, you might say, oh, they're general like turbo fan wheels or whatever. But the front and rear wheels are made custom by Strong Wheels here in Ireland, and they're made to like be a reflection of the Mazda 787 wheels. Obviously the 787B, the Le Mans insane race car from back in the 90s. Yeah, they're meant to basically kind of look like that, kind of give off that kind of vibe, and I think they suit that absolutely perfect. Strong knocked it out of the park. And yeah, just generally as far as the mod goes, just in, again, you can only tell so much from this little rotation view here kind of thing, but it looks pretty good from the outside at least. And as far as the car itself, it has 550 horsepower, 600 newton meters of torque, and it weighs, as near as makes no difference, 1200 kilos. So not the most outrageous power, 600 horsepower, 560, 600 horsepower, pretty upper mid-range kind of, not mental, but 600 newton meters torque, pretty good. But again, it only weighs 1200 kilos, so it's not a pretty, like, it's not a particularly heavy car. Yeah, you'd imagine most of the weight's going to be in the front with the engine and all the bits and pieces. But again, if I understand right, rotaries aren't that big and they aren't that heavy, so again, it all checks out as to why it's not a pretty heavy car. So yeah, slightly different format when I do drift cars. It's not going to be in the Nordschleife as fun as that would be, and maybe that's a future video, trying to drift the Nordschleife in something like this. But yeah, we do it on Silverstone National, so we do it the old kind of FMDL Forza spec, which is Silverstone National section. Doing a couple of laps back and forward, 4 or 5 laps back and forward, get a feel for it. And same thing, I'm not trying to show off how amazing a drifter I am. I'm looking at, like, what do the physics feel like, how does it drive, how does it handle, how does the, like, what kind of job have, in this case, carbon drift team done to kind of replicate what you might feel like this car would actually be like to drive in person, in real life. So then I'll meet you on the track where I'm going to do a VR test on the inside to see how it looks. Again, from this rotation view, it looks absolutely great. But yeah, check the VR test, see how it looks on the inside, see what kind of detail we're looking at. And then we are going to do a audio test. Again, it should sound ridiculous. It should sound absolutely unbelievable if they've gotten anywhere close to the real car. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And then we go out on the track and we just do some drifting. So if that sounds interesting, stick around. Okay, here we are. So, first of all, bodes well for the audio. It sounds absolutely monstrous at idle. But just looking around the cockpit first and foremost, we have all the kind of details that you're looking for as far as, yep, the cage is modeled in. You can see some detail on the door, the wheel, the ECU master, yeah, like everything, like the dash. You can see like the dash looks like it's flocked. You've got your handbrake and your gears lever and stuff like that. But it's severely lacking AO. There's no shadows, there's no shading or anything like that. Like, it doesn't feel like doesn't necessarily feel like I'm actually specifically sitting in the car. But on the flip side, it is animated shifter. Oh, what the hell? Right, pressing down on the gear shifter for some reason is recentering my view. Yeah, so that's obviously not going to work. I can't have the view recentering every time I change gear. So, alright, going to have to fix that. Don't know what caused that, but we shall have a look and see. Okay, we're back. Everything is working. So let's just see again. Is the shifter animated? Right, no, that's not, but the handbrake is. That's kind of cool. Yeah, so again, the interior, not terrible, but just AO has become kind of just a standard, like, base level thing that you get in a mod nowadays, and it's surprising to see it missing. So we're going to give it a rev, do the audio test, and let's see if they captured the absolute madness of this car. The raspiness as it comes down. Yeah, so it sounds pretty good. Sounds pretty good. Let's hear it from the outside. Yeah, that's really well done. Then comes down into that mental idle. So yeah, that's again great job on the sound. Again, overall, generally so far, really impressed. It's just that lack of AO is just, it's always you have to take a mark away from it. From a car that doesn't have it. But with that said, we will get out onto the track now and get around to the section. I'm not going to drift. I'm just going to get to the section and go from there. So I'll meet you at the start of the section. Actually, while I'm on the way, you can see again the detail, the kind of flock dash look effect. Like, that looks really good. It's weird that they shoot themselves in the feet by not including the AO. Maybe it's a pack that's used for online and they'd rather just the extra performance. But anyway, here we are at the start of the section. So again, if you don't remember the old FMDL section, it's from here to one of the green, I think it's the second green strip. You do a 50 roll and then you take off from there. That's kind of what we're going to do and just test out and see how it handles. Is it snappy? Is it loose? Is it nice? Is it bad? Is it whatever? Yeah, again, as you're saying, I didn't touch the tune. There's no tuning or adjustments or tire changes. It's whatever comes like directly out of the box as soon as you are settled into it, and you go from there. So let's see what we have. I just realised this is in kilometers, so I don't know what 50 kilometers is. So we'll just go and see what happens. Again, first time driving a new car, you always have to be... Oh, okay, right, I had a weird snap. Yeah, so the first time... I'll get the sentence out eventually. The first time trying a new car, for that very first one like that one, you're always going to have a couple of little wobbles and not know quite what you're going to get out of it. So that one, my first reaction is that it's got quite a snap, which isn't something that I necessarily always look for in a drift car. I know a lot of drivers want that snap initial, like kind of snappy transition and flicks and stuff like that. I prefer smoother, kind of more controlled car, because if it does, it's one of those things that's like when it's on the limit. Sorry, I'm trying to decide between third and fourth there. Yeah, when it's on the limit like that, or if you lose your grip up and stuff like that, like that snappy, grippy element to it is very feast or famine, if that's a good way of putting it. I like something a little bit more predictable. It might not be the fastest or the best or most competitive or everything like that, but just for my own personal preferences, that's what I tend to like. Alright, we'll get rid of the 50 roll now. So third gear seems to be a bit too short because you're bouncing off the limiter there. You bring it around town. Yeah, third gear is just a little too short for the section, and fourth seems to be a little too long. So the first thing that I do immediately is see if I can mess with the gear, see what options that we have there to maybe just elongate out third. I wouldn't try and shorten fourth necessarily. Well, it depends on the track, I suppose. But yeah, so far it's feeling, despite the snappiness, it is feeling pretty good, I have to say. Of course, it's literally just my third run, so I'm still feeling it out. It's not ideal for me there driving wise, but again, let's see what we're working with. But I can say it's good. It is, like, if I was to drive this car with this setup, this engine, all kind of stuff, is this what I would expect? Pretty much, yeah. Right, I'll try and do a run in fourth. Miles off the line there, but we'll see. I think I can... I messed up the transition. So I'll say, I think you can drop the third there. Get away from it. Alright, try to do a run or two in fourth here and see if that makes any difference. Obviously dropping down to third if and when we need to. Primarily a fourth gear run now. Let's see what we have. I feel like we could drop down a little bit. Very wobbly, very all over the place, not very stable. Ah, come on. Yeah, see, I don't know. There's certain cars that don't have that snapback aspect that I prefer. I find it the case a lot with the very competitive, focused build cars, like the VDC cars. I think it is have a feeling like that as well. They're very just overly twitchy and snappy. Which again, if you're a competitive drifter and that's what you want and that's what you're going for, more power to you. But for my own personal taste, I would like just a bit more forgiveness. Again, miles off the line there. Bring it around. So not really able to push out then again either. The one thing I noticed is that I do tend to go quiet a lot more when I'm drifting. With a lap in the Nordschleife, you kind of get like little downtime sections. The closest to that I get is these in-betweenies when I'm just doing a turnaround. Like during the actual drift, I'm like, focus, 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 focus. I keep drifting out way too wide and then having to overcompensate for it. Which again, I don't know yet if that's me, having been so early in my experience with the car, or if that's the car itself. The gear definitely needs help, at least for this section. And anyway, this track, third is just way too short. I'll go for a run in third person just so we can see what we're looking at here. Such a beautiful car, it's a shame to spend the entire time in the cockpit. Messed that up. Again, as I always say, it's not about me as a driver, it's about how does the car feel. But yeah, that looks absolutely gorgeous, sounds even better. And again, Carbon Drift team have done a good job here. Like, don't be confused for a second that I'm saying that it's a bad car, bad motor like that. This is purely from an aspect of like my preferences and what I like to drive. Right, so that's a lot better. It turns out I forget that I'm much better at drifting third person. Being able to see where I'm going. I also forgot what gear I'm in. I can't remember if I'm in third or fourth gear. But you can see the amount of adjustments and changes that I'm having to make here on the wheel. The car's never really very stable at any point, which is, again, I think that's on me. Just going to bring up the gears here so it sees since we're in third person. You don't need them obviously when you're in cockpit view and have a little screen in front of you, but I literally did that second half of the run. I couldn't remember if I was in third or fourth. Right, so yeah, again, the confidence difference when I'm in third person is hilarious. Just thrown. Right, I'm looking over the strip here, but yeah, see the amount of loss that you get when you put it into fourth. Is there a turbo in this? Can I adjust the turbo? Oh yes, you can. Okay, so that wasn't even fully turbo, a full like boost there, what I call it. Let's go again and see if it's making any difference, or maybe it was, and it's just. Yeah, the boost gauge on the thing doesn't seem to be going any higher, so it already was. Oh, what's a flick? We'll call this we'll call that a demonstration run entry. Ah, tried something different there. No, that didn't work at all. It's definitely fun. It's the kind of thing that I feel like with time and like just like dedication to learning it, and again working on the tune, working on the gearing a bit, I think you can get a lot out of it. But unfortunately, this is not with a drift, and I'm not here to be working on tunes. I just want to see how the car drives. So. Ah, come on. Again, I'm just feeling out. I thought maybe will I do like a stamp on the clutch there and just let it bring itself around. I'll find out the different ways of that you drive it to kind of maximise getting what you can out of it, sort of thing. Different amounts of clutching, different amounts of turning, different amounts of handbrake. Like it's how you bed in a new car, sort of thing. Ah, that was bad. Turned in too early. A different line I tried there, which worked quite a bit. Shame again about the third gear. Yeah, so I think maybe I was sticking too much to the left in the kind of middle alley there. Maybe if I come in a bit right, enter the final kind of inside clip a little later. Let's see. It's funny how much worse I did immediately as soon as I went back into cockpit view. Okay, what I'll do now after this last run is I will go back in and change the tune, because again, I've spent quite a bit of time talking about not doing the tune, but it feels like it's so close to greatness that at least if I can just change third gear to make it a little bit longer, I'll be getting much better progress. Ah, come on. Yeah, so instead of sticking out to the left rumble here, what I did last time was came in a bit more inside like that, and then push out towards the end. Right, we go back to the pits and we will have a look and see. Can you stretch out the gears? Yes, you can. Alright, so third gear is at 124. So I'm thinking like we'll go extra. We'll go one more than we probably need to, 139. There is only one option for tyres, and the pressures aren't a million miles off of that. Like anyway, fuel is alright, electrics. Yeah, like the tune isn't a million miles away from anything that I do anyway, really. So there's not really much point in pushing it. So let's just see if we can get the extra controllability from having a bit more control of the revs in third gear. Now, I might get one run in and decide that the 130 plus was a terrible ratio, but already I feel like that's going to be a big improvement. It's a bit more boggy down low, but that's what second is for. So let's see how we get on. So we'll just make a go for it. Right, it's a little bit too much, or it's missing a little bit too much just in those kind of slower bits. So let's just go again, bring it back to one click to 131. Yeah, so 131, let's see how we go. Right, so here we go with the 131 ratio for third. Let's see if this is a nice middle ground, which it seems to be already, but... Oh, I pushed a bit wide, that was my bad on the entry. But yeah, it's much better through this part. But how does it say now on the push through around here? Yeah, you're so much more in the power band. You're right there, as opposed to bounce off the limiter. You're holding it steady right where it needs to be, so that's a much better gear ratio. Again, I have to wonder, like, where do they test these cars for the base tunes that come out of the box? Where they decided, like, I'm guessing it wasn't here, because it seems to me that that's pretty cut and dry that you want it to be at 131 rather than 124 for the third gear ratio. Yeah, see, because now it's perfect and I don't even need to be worrying about clutching and changing gears potentially. I can just let the car drive for me and focus on what I'm doing right and wrong. So, yeah, big improvement. Try to keep them on. Like, I didn't even need to clutch kick that time. Like, the gearing was just right that it came up by itself. So, yeah, just confirms that. And then again with the handling, I'm starting to put it together a bit more. Again, I'm still not perfect. I'm not the best driver, just talent-wise, so you're not going to see 100%, 100-point qualifying run by any means. But big entry. Yeah, look how much better that is once you've got a decent gear in. Setup. Absolutely crushed it, if I do say so myself. A bit wobbly throughout the actual section, or throughout the actual, on the nose of the clipping point, but that was just as a result of the mad entry. The rest of it was really well put together. Again, in my bold, if I could be so bold, in my opinion. But let's see what else we're having now. Again, it's not a good line competition-wise, and I've just went off there, but it's always nice when you can just throw a car in like that and have a hang on. I kind of want to do some more just silly backwards entries. The sound is so good, it's like getting chills almost how accurate sound is. I think I might be putting in too much input. Ah, that was my bad. I felt it as soon as I did it. I mean, I totally intended that 360. What are you talking about? Right, we go for one more run because I'm now recording, I'd say, over 25 minutes at this point. So, well, yeah, as all I can say really basically is that the car is great. You should go and check it out. The link, as always, will be down in the description. Carbon Drift team did a great job with this. Let's go. Big entry. Big flick. Oh, came back around on us. Came back around on us. No. Oh, I'm sad. I wanted a better last one. Yeah, that's a lot more stable there. A lot less inputs needed from my end. Once it locked in, it's just kind of locked in. But yeah, here we go. Last run of the video, so let's try and make it a good one. Okay, a bit more wobbly. One of the more safe runs. Wasn't a crazy entry out like that, but you know, as they go, I'll take it. But yeah, that is about it. As I said, the link will be in the description. Carbon Drift Team, great job. Car's absolutely mental. I'm literally just going to keep driving this for a little while. Like, I'm not jumping into the edit right like that. I'm just going to stop recording and just keep driving because I'm really enjoying it. But that's it, yeah. If you enjoyed the video, please do leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new here. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.